Okay, so step one for the Calm and Clear from the Platinum section of the menu, we're gonna start with Cleansing Complex. We're gonna do 2 full pumps and add just a smidge of water. I like to get just one hand just lightly damp and kind of work it in before I apply it to the client's skin. And then we're going to just massage this in with some light pressure for about 1 minute, just to get the skin nice and clean. We don't want to strip any natural oils or anything like that. This is just to get off basic residue, makeup, dirt and debris, so we can have a really good thorough skin analysis. Okay, we're going to remove the first cleanse, which is the Cleansing Complex, with warm 4x4s, and then we are going to perform the skin analysis. Okay, so now we're gonna start the skin analysis. You wanna put the goggles on the client and let them know that there's gonna be a bright light over them. Turn the light on first and then move it over the client's face. When performing the skin analysis, you definitely want to make sure that you touch, that you're pinching and spreading every aspect of the face so you can see where the congestion is, where they are having any breakouts, concerns, where are the blackheads versus the whiteheads versus inflamed acne versus non-inflamed acne. This is where you get to ask them all the questions about what they're doing, have them give you their step-by-step routine for every single morning and every single evening. This is also the time where you address what you're seeing. Always say 2 nice things before you say anything about being corrective. And this is also where you're going to give recommendations for products to help what their concerns are, as well as future treatments. This should take about 2 to 3 minutes total. Okay, now that we've completed the skin analysis, I'm gonna turn the steamer on so it should be ready in the next minute or two. I'm going to turn the light off, then move it out of the way, then remove her goggles. Next, we are going to do the Dermal Balancing Cleanser. We're going to do 1 full pump, that is it. And we are gonna work it into a lather and work it into the skin for about 30 seconds to a minute before we add the Faceify brushes. Now that we've got about a minute of working the Dermal Balancing Cleanser into her skin, we are now going to use the Faceify wands. Make sure that you have them on the scrubber brush and not the lymphatic drainage head. And so you wanna make sure that you are going about the same pace and the same pressure on both sides. We're going to do this for about 1 to 2 minutes, and the steamer should be coming on any second now. So now that we have done the second cleanse for approximately 2 to 3 minutes with the Faceify wands, we are going to use a warm towel to remove all cleanser. I don't think you can really see that well in here, but the steam is just now starting to come out, which is great. Okay, so next we want to take the clarifying mud mask. I like to keep this in the hot towel warmer because it's really thick and it is not easy to maneuver. So if I can get it in the hot towel warmer for a few minutes before, it makes it a lot easier to maneuver into the skin. What you want to do is you want to kind of just work this in for about 3 to 5 minutes. It helps to break up all the topical gunk that's in the skin. It gives a light exfoliation, but it's really detoxifying and it's great for all skin types. It can be a little drying on the skin, which is why we only do for 3 to 5 minutes, even though the mask itself calls for up to 10 minutes. We do for about 3 to 5 minutes. We work it in with our fingers under steam, and then once we remove this with a hot towel, the next step then would be to go in with the enzyme. Okay, so now that we have worked in the clarifying mud mask under steam for approximately 3 to 5 minutes, we're gonna go in with a hot towel and remove it. We're gonna keep the steam on the entire time because as soon as we're done with this, we're going to apply the next enzyme. Okay, and so next we're gonna mix, this is the multi-texture enzyme with the Incredible Enzymes. We wanna mix these together. It's gonna be a little bit powdery, and it's, as you can see, it kind of goes all over the place, as you can see. You just keep mixing and mixing and mixing, and if you're anything like me, it's gonna be a big messy mess, but you're just gonna keep mixing over and over and over, and then you'll notice the dryness starts to go away, and you do get where it starts to get a little bit like a thicker paste consistency. And then, as you can see, it got all over my hand and the floor. That's pretty standard. It's super powdery. To be smarter, you could probably use a bigger bowl. But what we're gonna do now, we're gonna take this paste, looks just like this, and we're gonna apply this to the skin and leave it on for about 5 to 7 minutes under the steam. Yep. Okay, so now that we have had the other enzyme on for approximately 5 to 7 minutes, we're gonna use another warm towel to remove this. We're gonna keep the steam on during removal because next we're gonna go straight into extractions. After extractions, we then go into high frequency. Okay, so now we're gonna do extractions. We're gonna have the goggles on. We're gonna turn the bright light on and then move this over. I still have some of the steam coming out to keep the skin soft. I am going to take 2 4x4s. I do have my gloves on now. I always like to start with trying to use my fingers as much as possible. I try to never use lancets unless I have to, or Coleman extractors unless I absolutely have to. We're gonna go in and start to do some extractions. I always get the ones that I can get the easiest first. And then you only want to do extractions for up to 5 minutes. After that, the pore doesn't close because pores ain't doors, they don't open and close, but they do expand and contract. And it will start to contract a little bit so then you can create more damage to the surrounding tissue. So we really want to give it around 5 minutes max. Okay, now that we finish the extractions, we are going to put 2 pumps of active toner onto the one cotton round. We're going to just do a quick swipe across the whole face, and then we're going to do the high frequency for up to 5 minutes. So now we're gonna do the LED. We're gonna start with the power button, and then for the mode, it's acne, wrinkles, and then aches and pains. If there's lots of redness and super inflamed acne, you actually want it on the aches and pains because that's better for inflammation. We're gonna keep it on the acne mode today for her. So then we're gonna take pulse off. Pulse will make it flash over and over and people hate that. So we're gonna take pulse off and then we're going to hit start. You'll see the lights come on. Next, when applying the LED, you want to have it as close to the skin as possible. So I'm gonna put it around, I'm gonna tell her to lift her head. Her nose is gonna touch it and then I'm gonna wrap it around. So now, go ahead, perfect. So usually their nose should touch it or should be extremely close to their nose. So it is super, super close. And then we'll set a timer for 20 minutes.